Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. The sun is out today, and I can already feel the fall chill out there, so I said I'm shooting this rundown outside, which is dedicated to Bleak 5170, Mixel Pitalik, I don't quite know how to say that, and Larry Alameda, who all had great things to say about our This Day in Everything Cool dedication to the Hulk Ultimate Destruction, which I hope one day will be backwards compatible on the Xbox One X. But let's get started with our rundown. Bond is on vacation until 2020. With the recent departure of writer-director Danny Boyle, the producers behind the next Bond film have decided to delay the film. No new release date has been confirmed, but if recent history is anything to go by, James Bond films usually arrive in the fall or winter, so it's likely that the delay for Bond 25 will be a whole year and it will arrive in 2020. This delay and Boyle's departure from the film is because the direction that Boyle was going in didn't sit well with producers, and it's speculated with star Daniel Craig as well. No new director has been announced. We'll let you know as soon as we hear who that will be, and there are rumors out there already kind of circulating that possibly somebody like Edgar Wright would step in, which would be great. Daniel Craig saying that he was done with this franchise and then they lured him back. It made financial sense because all of the Daniel Craig movies have been very successful, but now look what's happened here. You know, there's this idea that he is reluctant to come back anyways. All of the marketing that was sort of leading up to 2019, all of the partnerships that James Bond is famous for, the alcohol partnerships, the vehicle partnerships, all of that stuff has to be, you know, put on hold and all of that money reallocated for a different year. It's bigger than Daniel Craig, you know, and I feel like there's a lot of placating going on to keep him in there rather than just say it's time to move on. I don't have any hatred for Daniel Craig. I think he's terrific, but this is just a giant mess. And as a Bond fan, I want them to figure it out, and I want to see a much better Bond movie than Spectre was. All right, we don't know when we're getting a new Dark Souls, but fans of the franchise get a delicious treat before Halloween. Bandai Namco has announced that they are publishing the Dark Souls Trilogy for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on October 19th. The bundle features Dark Souls Remastered, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, and Dark Souls 3 The Fire Fades Edition. Bandai Namco is targeting those players who have been curious about the series and is offering them a chance to jump in, be challenged by the complex gameplay, and then feel like champions as they progress, inch by inch, deeper and deeper into the lore of this incredibly influential franchise. The three-game collection will retail for $80 US, and I think this is, it is a little bit of a mystery who isn't into Dark Souls, because everybody that would be fascinated by this thing has heard about it because we never stop talking about it in this industry. Dark Souls, not only as a standalone product, but also all the influence that has come from this franchise for many other games out there. But, you know, seriously, I think Bandai Namco is just saying, look, we got to keep this brand alive. We got to keep it sort of front and center of people's minds. There will be some players out there who have never touched one of these games. I'm very curious if you are one of those players, if you plan to pick up this trilogy set. It seems like a pretty damn good deal. That's a lot of gameplay. It's going to take you many, many hours to beat all of these games, and they're all damn good. Very good stuff here. All right, well, guess how much it's going to cost you to fetch an Aibo? Sony is bringing back their lovable robot dog, Aibo, to North America this year. To get one of these smart little critters into your home, you're going to be looking at spending almost $3,000 US. I guess you'd save on dog food, though. Aibo has a camera in its nose, expressive OLED eyes, and touch sensors all over, so you and your family members can pet Aibo and bond with it. The new Aibo, which is being made in limited quantities, is going to be on exhibit at Sony Square in New York City starting today until October 24th, and it'll be the only place you can see it live before it goes on sale this holiday season.
Take good care of it.
Robot pals are going to be everywhere pretty soon, and I think this is a pretty good indication of, what's to come. And I think companies like Sony just like to kind of tease things out there. There were tons of people that picked up on Aibo when it was first released, I think in the 90s, and there was a huge community out there, and Aibo has the propensity to charm your pants off. And if you're looking at this footage, it just looks incredible, this little robot dog. And it's fun to see that, robots are just becoming a bigger part of our vernacular and our conversations about the reality of the world that we live in today. It's pretty clear to see that an autonomous R2-D2 or BB-8 is likely going to be in our futures, and the prices are going to go down, and the sophistication and the abilities of these robots are going to go up. Clearly, AI can get more advanced, and we have to kind of be careful about how how sophisticated we make these robots. We don't want them to become Terminators, but still, I want an Aibo. I'm not going to spend $3,000 on it, but I sure want one of those suckers. They look great. Now, Miyamoto has some common sense to share with game makers. Nintendo creative legend Shigeru Miyamoto was recently quoted by Bloomberg as expressing his concern over the practices of free-to-play mobile gaming. Miyamoto was speaking at the Computer Entertainment Developers Conference in Yokohama, Japan, and said that Nintendo's thinking is, if we can deliver games at reasonable prices to as many people as possible, we will see big profits. Miyamoto admitted that the fixed cost model that the company employed for their mobile game Super Mario Run wasn't as successful as their free-to-play games like Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, but stressed that Nintendo will continue to push fixed price forward until it becomes entrenched. Essentially, Miyamoto echoes the concerns that many in the industry, including yours truly, share about free-to-play games, that they create a lot of confusion for how to properly assess the value of game software, and that many of the tactics employed by free-to-play game publishers are akin to the psychological manipulation associated with gambling addictions. And this is serious stuff. I mean, there are territories around the world that are adjusting or forcing publishers to adjust their games, like limit the amount of loot boxes or take them out entirely. There's just all of these different ways that the sophisticated game market has found a way to make some money from free-to-play software, but there has also been this, race to the bottom and this kind of gold rush mentality that just adopting these things that are kind of unproven is going to work for everybody. And obviously, lots and lots of developers are out there scrambling, struggling to survive. And I think that's what Miyamoto's kind of saying. It's like have some value for these titles, make these things worth some money, and let the customers understand that all of this hard work costs something, and these games should have a price. So hopefully the game makers out in the world today will listen to the very wise, the very proven, the genius that is Shigeru Miyamoto, and I want to see more people talking about this. I'm curious to hear what you think about this. It's a big topic in our industry. There's no right way to deliver games, but I think the best way is to give players a real sense of value, and to give them some clarity on what they're spending, and to make them feel like they've got something that's worth their time, and it's valuable, and it's also worth their money. All right, NVIDIA is showing off how impressive Battlefield 5 is going to look using their RTX technology. Straight from Gamescom, NVIDIA and DICE showed off some of the real-time ray tracing technology that Battlefield 5 is capable of on the new RTX cards the graphics hardware manufacturer is bringing out to market. Check out some of the real-time reflections and gorgeous details that this demo footage provides. This is seriously cool technology and presumably will help to shape the look of modern PC gaming and future console gaming. I love videos like this because it's just developers just freaking out over the tech that's available to them. And I love that there is this constant power struggle, this battle that goes on with companies like NVIDIA and AMD, where they're always pushing this stuff forward. Clearly this ray tracing stuff is impressive as hell to look at. I mean, when you see into a character's eyes and you can see flame sort of erupting in real time, and it's moving and it's animated, it just looks incredible. Battlefield 5 looks like a stunner. And, when you have a studio as powerful as DICE employing the very latest in tech like this, it's like a kick in the pants to developers all over the world. It's like, let's go, let's move. And I'm really excited to see how this gets, employed. Presumably, it's going to make NVIDIA billions of dollars because all the PC gamers, hello, Master Race, are going to be adopting these new cards and getting into the RTX luxury that they provide. And then that will probably mean that the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, whatever it's called, and whatever Nintendo might have up its sleeve will also start to use some of this tech. Very cool stuff. That's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Remember, we have tons of content for you to check out, so please do that. If you dig it, hit subscribe, hit that little bell. If you're so inclined, you can become a member of the EPN community by hitting that join button. That's going to do it for us. Have a fantastic weekend and play forever.